Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a sometimes complicated woodworking joint, the mortise and tenon, and we're putting it on easy mode. As you clearly may be able to tell here, I am just blindly marking these bad boys out. I'm not real concerned with the position. I do want them to be even, I want them to be centered, but that's pretty easy with a measuring device and a pencil of some sorts. But other than that, I am not 100% worried about the sizing or proportions or anything on these because they're going to be cut a little differently anyway. All right, so check this out. I decided I'm going to do these the easy way first, and then we'll do them the little more complicated way after this. But I marked out where I want these, but I changed my mind a little bit. I'm going to find the center. We're going to mix it up today because these bad boys are getting ready to get drilled as a round hole. Those don't look like tenons, do they? Or mortises, whatever, holes. Those don't look like mortises, do they? All right, so we got the marks transferred to cut the tenons. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out on the table saw. Again, I'm not really worried about them being too exact because as you know from the thumbnail, I'm sure, we're going to do these a little bit unorthodox. All right, we got the tenons cut and we got our round mortises cut. And I know you guys are probably thinking, what in the hell is wrong with you? You can't put a square hole or a square peg into a round hole. They don't fit. That is very correct. You cannot. But I wanted to start out by cutting them exactly to the same size, so I knew that my measurements were correct. And now we're gonna do a little extra trimming on these to make them a little bit smaller. And again, it's not crucial how much smaller we make them because we're gonna fill up the gaps anyway. So I just wanna make them smaller to put it so they fit easily in there, and then we're gonna fill them up. Now, does it fit? No, doesn't fit, but it's close. Keep trimming. All right, I made these tenons about as small as I want to make them and it still didn't fit, so you know what? I'm gonna drill my holes bigger. Another life pro tip for you. You drill a hole with a Forstner bit, it's too small and you need to make it bigger. You can't just do that, it'll wobble all over the place. Drill a hole in another board first. Now, we take that board, we set it over there. I'm gonna stick it down with some tape and drill a hole. And I started this video saying this was gonna be the new easy way to cut mortise and tenon, but I think we've done more steps in doing it this way than the traditional way. This may be a complete joke. Drill a new hole over a small hole. Look at that, beautiful. That tape is sticky. Check it out, 2 bigger holes. All right, we got sloppy cut tenons. We got 2 big stupid round holes in our board. Now it's time to make them look good. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we might super glue these boards together so that they're even this way and so that they're square and they don't move around. And once these are somewhat rigid, I mean, the super glue is not gonna hold it, of course, permanently. It's just to hold it so we can get the epoxy poured. Once we get that in there, then I think we can turn this over, and then on the back here, we can dam that up either with some tape or something similar. And then we can mount this like this, pour our epoxy in the top, and that's it. This is gonna be delicious. All right, we super glued these on here, this on there. So now it's somewhat rigid. So now we just need to dam up the back of this so that the epoxy can't leak through. I will be the first to say that I probably should have measured good enough that these were a little more centered in the circles. I'm not too worried about it. It's still going to be a perfect fit because obviously it's epoxy. And two, I think it's going to be super strong, but please, please, please let me know in the comments how strong or weak you think this joint will be compared to traditional mortise and tenon. I'm honestly not sure. I think it'll probably be pretty strong, but hey, who knows? So I spent the last little bit, instead of just drilling a round hole, I went to the trouble of actually cutting mortises. Cut tenons, this is a new piece. So put that in there and I cut them a little big on purpose. Accentuate that even a little more. I'm gonna go trim these tenons down just a little bit more, try to make this as even as possible around here this time, instead of our other one where it wasn't quite even. May or may not have been the first person to do this, not that it really matters, other than I might win a couple internet points. Square, square that's triangle. Odd, huh? So the big question, of course, is this actually easier than traditional mortise and tenon? I think so, because I'm definitely not the best at cutting traditional mortise and tenon. But I'll tell you what I can do is bludgeon me out a square hole, and I can definitely cut the tenons with my table saw or hand saw or whatever, however I want to cut them. And if I'm not having to worry about being exact to that line, and then I get to make a cool accent color, because you know epoxy's cool and relevant on the internet right now, so that makes it even cooler. I'll say this is much easier to put in these small cracks with this little syringe. There is a discount code for this Total Boat epoxy too, just because I love pushing discount codes. And then they might send me an extra Christmas card. Well, hey there. It's like 2 or 3 days later, you know, because life. We've got these poured, they're cured. It all filled in nice, it didn't shrink too much or anything. I'm gonna tell you, they are solid. So, I let these prod on purpose so I'd have plenty to be able to clean this, trim this back and clean it up. So we're gonna get these cleaned up and we're gonna take a look and see what this looks like.